If you don't mind, Katie.
No, absolutely.
Okay, so hi everybody, I'm Melissa with JMT. This meeting is being recorded, and if you are not speaking, please mute yourself as to, not give any feedback to everybody else. All right, so let's start off with Mike Zen.
Yeah, I'm Mike Zen, Department of Transportation, your CTST program manager.
All right, Lori Paleo.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lori Paleo from JMT.
All right, awesome. George Edmiston.
Hey, I'm George Edmiston with Benish.
Thank you. Brenton Mosher.
I'm Brenton Mosher with USF Center for Urban Transportation Research, Qatar.
Yeah. Miss Page.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Paige Niehaus. I'm the campus president at the Dale Mabry campus for HCC.
Thank you. Kelly Farron.
Hi, Kelly Farron with City of Tampa Mobility Department.
Thank you. Julie Bond.
Hello, everyone. Julie Bond, also with Qatar at University of South Florida.
Thank you. Brandon Drawhorn.
Brandon Drawhorn, FDOT District 7 Safety Office.
Yeah. Chad Chatafan. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that.
That's okay. You guys can call me Chatty. Chatty Hanwisai with USF Campus Planning.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank
you. And let's see. I called Janine. Did I call Janine? I called Janine. I didn't call Janine. Janine.
I'm Janine. I'm Janine Lawrence. I'm with Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Okay, and then on the line, oh wait, she said she would be right back. So we have Nicole Marchessan. I can't say her last name. Marchessan. No. She's with USFPD. And if there's anyone else on the line, oops, that's George again. If there's anyone else on the line who I did not call out your name, please feel free to introduce yourself.
I think you forgot Nicole's partner.
Who's that?
Bailey.
The dog.
Oh, poor little Bailey. How could I have forgotten Bailey? Cute little Bailey. All right, cool. All right, I think that's it. And we can continue.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to join us. If we want to just review the minutes, they were sent out earlier this morning from last month, or I guess, yeah, July. So if you've had a chance to review them, if there's anything kind of glaring, missing, incorrect, let us know. If not, if there's somebody who will motion to approve, I'd love that.
Motion to approve.
Perfect. Thanks, Kelly. Do you have a second? Can I second? Is that inappropriate?
I'll second.
Awesome, Brandon. Thank you much. We had a really good meeting last month. Everybody was able to come out to UT's campus, which is exciting to have you all here. So we'll hopefully do that again soon. Moving forward to business updates, problem identification and follow-up. I think I can start with, again, some of our UT focus spaces. We have two that we've brought to this attention. Not really a whole lot of change from last month because we still don't have our students who have returned to campus. We welcome back our students in the 24th is when our move-in starts, and our first day of classes is the following Monday, which I think is the 29th or the 30th, the 29th. So we won't have kind of up-to-date information about how these roadways, traffic patterns, any of that stuff is impacting or is being impacted by our pedestrian traffic until probably September, maybe October, to get a solid lead of, how our students are moving throughout the town. Which is impacted by North Boulevard. We are also, and our Cass Street entrance, we're actually having some construction in that space right now, so everything's a little bit in flux. But I know that we have another HCC space. Is there any update, information, follow-up from that?
Good afternoon. I can tell you, I currently sit on the Drew Park CAC. We are in the process of having a contractor come and look at all the crosswalks and review Drew Park. So I think hopefully within the next few months, we'll get a response from him as to where the high safety issue areas are. Or lack of safety rather. And of course, I advocate for the crosswalk at Hawks Landing. The other thing to note, just FYI, we are at capacity. We have had a waiting list for Hawks Landing. We anticipate, as last year, to be fully full with students. Fully at capacity, let me say, with students. So we know that we'll have over 400 students that'll be crossing that walkway to and from our campus at multiple times per the day. So I will keep you posted on that.
Awesome, thank you. Question that was posed by some of our administration at UT. And if this is not the appropriate place, just tell me and we'll move it to the later. We have City of Tampa doing construction, replacing the water mains, I think, is what they're doing on North Boulevard, which is shutting down traffic to 1 lanes each direction and limiting some access. And North Boulevard, if for those who are not familiar with UT's campus, is one of the main arteries through the east and west side of our campus, but it is maintained by the city. The university does not own it. So we're kind of at the mercy of their scheduling. However, with move-in, and which is already a chaotic experience, traffic patterns are crazy. We have 10,000 students, which means we easily have about 20,000 people coming to campus with families and vendors and all sorts of other good stuff. We're a little bit concerned about that construction not being complete on time. I didn't know, I was asked to pose this question to our Florida friends and see if there was any sort of talk we could have with the city, or if this is the place to do it. It should be a temporary thing, so I just wasn't sure if this is the right venue or not.
Okay, yeah, I don't recall anybody from the city of Tampa on here today.
I'm on from the city of Tampa, but I don't have an update specific for that project, but I can find out and get back to you.
Kelly, if you could, when you check in with that, I don't know if you want to talk to William Porth. He's pretty much over traffic operations, I think, used to be.
Yeah, it's not like it's a either water or stormwater project, so it's not a per se traffic project that's going on right now. So I can find out and get back to you.
Okay, if we could just, because I understand Katie's problem is all these kids are coming in and you've got a mess out there with them trying to cross back and forth, and maybe we ought to put some kind of temporary crossings somewhere, in the vicinity or something is what I'm suggesting. If you want to bring that up, to bubble that up, Kelly.
Yeah, and yes, and some of it's pedestrian moving between both sides of campus, but some of it is also just the sheer amount of vehicles that are traveling through that, which then backs up into Kennedy and Cass and more into the city areas. And we'd love to not do that for you because we recognize we're kind of a bit of a disaster at that point in time. I don't know if it would be helpful if we gave you like our move-in dates. So if there's a potential to maybe pause operations for those days and have the road clear so that we can do our thing and then resume. Just trying to figure out some solutions before we run into a problem.
Yeah, if you want to send me those, that would be great.
Yeah, I can do that. Thank you. Any other problem identification that you've found over summer? I know it's usually pretty minimal activity on campuses during that time, but in the last month for anybody? Hearing none. Okay. So calendar updates, activity reports, law enforcement. I don't know if our USF PD friend has joined, or bicycle pedestrian reports. I was interested in hearing how the Operation Summer Slowdown went. I know that I told some of my family friends who were traveling through the South, I was like, be careful, you're going to get stopped. So word of mouth was really helpful there.
George, I've only gotten a few comments from law enforcement that the operation was well, but George is online and he feels quite frequently with law enforcement. Have you heard how successful it was, George?
I don't have the exact report, and I will reach out to Sergeant Gaskins to find out what sort of statistics were derived from that. Hopefully the fatal numbers were down. Well, certainly we're focusing around those numbers as well, but I don't have that answer, but Sergeant Gaskins from the Florida Highway Patrol, who headed up this entire operation for our district, can certainly provide that information. So I'll reach out to him and hopefully we'll have some sort of report back before the next meeting, if that's okay.
Yeah, I think so. Any bicycle pedestrian incidents, thoughts, comments, queries? All right, hearing none. If we want to move to the fatal crash maps, I did take a look and I got sad that there's one around UT's campus. That's disappointing. But it seems like it's more centered in the downtown area. And this is over the last, from January 1, right? Is what these dates pull? Okay. Yeah. I was actually surprised when I flipped through this. It's not something that I heard about, which makes it seem like it may have been something kind of in downtown or not impacting our campus community, but it's still, you know, obviously within the 1 mile radius of our campus, which is upsetting. And it looks like the one on the west side of USF's campus was still there because I think the time hasn't passed.
Yeah, Laura, do you want to speak to maybe what kind of crash this was, if you know? The one at UT?
I think it was the run off the road.
Does that mean it was a vehicle ran another vehicle off the road, or is it a vehicle ran a pedestrian off the road? Do we know?
It's typically single vehicle, so usually just a vehicle that's going like excess speed and then they run off the road into a ditch or something like that.
Is this the one that went into the building?
I was gonna say it probably even ran into a building over there in that section of town. There's not many ditches along there, Lori.
Yeah, because that's in downtown Tampa. I think I actually drove past that one morning. There was a vehicle in a building and all of these police cars. They had taken out a like a landscaping barrier over a sidewalk. May not be the same incident, but that now rings a bell.
That sounds like is a good candidate, that's for sure.
Yikes. It definitely it was early morning, one work day. I remember that.
I think there was a wrong way driving on the Selman kind of recently, so could be that one that went off the ramp.
Goodness. I feel like that's really complicated to do, but clearly it happens.
After all the years I've been doing this, drivers always find a way to amaze me.
Indeed.
Lori, where was the one by USF? Can you scroll back down for that one? And what type of fatality was that?
I'm not too sure. I don't have the data for these. But I could get back to you on that.
Okay, yeah, I'd just be curious to know which one that is.
Okay.
And what type it was.
Lori, if you get a chance before our next meeting, can you pull up those actual crash reports?
Sure. Yeah, I could get the crash reports.
Okay, appreciate it.
It looks like, Julie, this is colored green, which goes with motorcycle.
Okay. Oh, so that little one right there that is coded as other, the little 3.
Mm-hmm. The ellipses, these dots. Uh-huh. So
Okay.
it's some sort of a motorcycle other related crash.
Okay. And it looks like it was on Fletcher.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was like right out, almost on the perimeter of the 1 mile.
I had to guess it's probably around 15th Street.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Other comments, questions about the crash maps?
just in case you guys can't get enough of this map. They are located on our CTST website under each of the 5 CTST groups that we have. Each of them have their own area. I can show you right here. So this is the university CTST. There's Miss Katie as our co-chair.
Yikes.
And if you scroll down to the bottom, there is our most recent fatal crash map.
Very cool.
And in every single, or every one of the 5, there is a crash map located there. So just in case you want to look at it again and again.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. I think that covers the bulk of our pre-scripted, pre-planned meeting items. Open forum announcements, commentary from anybody. Thoughts, concerns, problems.
Katie, I just wanted to, since you brought up the fact that, you know, the website that we have out there, it's tampabaytrafficsafety.com is the actual website address. But there's a lot of other information. There are a lot of PSAs that the department has done. I mean, you're welcome to view them and use them if you need them for whatever you need them. If you need actual files, either myself or Julie or somebody can get you the actual file to redo it if you needed to redo it. But there's a lot of other information in there if you decide, you know, you want to check into seeing other things you can do. We got a lot of bike peds videos in there, just things, especially with the new students that are coming into town. With that being said, I don't know, Julie's usually got stuff going on too, so.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to schedule as many interactive events on USF's campus, and I know we're going to the HCC events, and I don't know if University of Tampa has any that we can help with. So Brenton, what is the schedule we have for USF? We have quite a bit of kind of innovative things we're doing, like reaching students as they're getting their parking passes and hooking on to any types of events. Anything else, Brenton? You're muted if you're talking.
I know that Jelena had attended an orientation event, and I know that we are looking at doing a couple of the early bull market type things and other just pop-up outreach events around campus.
Yeah, and then HCC has those 3 days coming up, right? Plus their big event in November. So if University of Tampa has anything you'd like us to help out with, we're more than willing to come and help.
Awesome. I will keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Just in case y'all want to know, the HCC Welcome Week, it starts on the 15th, 16th, and 17th. Julie will be there and DOT will be there.
Do you have any events like that at University of Tampa? Do you have some welcome events or?
We have a week of welcome that spans from move-in on the 24th through the Monday of Labor Day. It's largely student organization focused, so it's designed to get students involved on campus and connected to kind of student organizations and resources. I think there's a vendor or a resource fair that may have more external minds towards it. I have to look into that. It's been a while since I've done orientation programming, but I will take a look and see what we can do.
Okay. Also, I'd like to offer up to UT and HCC, because we're going to do this at USF. We have a Traffic Skills 101 course that we offer, and that's a little more in depth for teaching bicycle handling skills and just everything you need to know about a bicycle, from maintenance tips to doing ABC quick check. And I've been talking to campuses across the country, and they're really starting to do these safety classes for students, because there's more people out riding bikes, and they're just these safety tips that it's more in depth. So we would, come to your campus if you want us to. It's what, Brenton, about 4 or 5 hours. Brenton and I are both league cycling instructors, so the curriculum that we teach is from the Bike League, the National League of American Bicyclists. So we're certified to teach these. And so we really come out, we usually only want a class of about 6 to 8 students at a time. And they have to bring their bicycles. We go through and talk about the ABC quick check on how you always need to make sure, you have air in your tires. We can do flat tire changing. We can, and then we go out for a little road ride and we teach them the skills of riding on the road. So, and I think especially for UT, I ride my bike around there all the time and see students riding. There's some skills that are, I think could be really helpful. And I don't know if you have students that just not, crash because of non, vehicle related, but, the high percentage of crashes just happen when you're riding by yourself because you may, hit a pothole or a crack or something like that. So we talk about those types of skills to keep students safe. So I'd like to offer that up for both HCC and UT, and we would just have to talk to you about getting it set up. And then there's a little online part that they have to take before we meet them in person, but it's a lot of fun.
Melissa did it. She had a lot of fun.
It
Thank
is
you,
a really,
I sure did. I sure did.
yeah, it's, we won't take them on, on State Road 54. Okay, so.
I think,
Nightmare.
didn't you have George in there once?
Yeah, and George was there too. He did great also, but.
Yeah, George and I
Yes,
were in the
I
class.
followed behind Melissa.
That's right. They learned all about when you're in a group, how to ride, right?
Yep. We
Did
did.
George,
Yes.
did George just say he fall behind? He fell behind?
Well, no, I rode behind Melissa only that way. I would be less of a target,
She dropped him. He doesn't want to admit, but she dropped him. So,
I promised I wouldn't speak of it again. I promised I wouldn't speak of it. But no, it was a great class. I did learn a lot of things. Riding in a group, just riding by myself. It was very useful.
Yeah. I think in Tampa urban environment, it would be a lot of fun too, because I know it's a whole different type of riding there too. Each place, has its different aspects of riding. And I don't know how many students you have. Do you have bicycling students bicycling to HCC? Do you know, or do you do? Does anyone do counts?
We do have some students that bicycle here. We see the electric bikes. And ironically, we're going to do a survey out to our students to see how many either bicycle or use the electronic bikes, so we can look at potential charging stations for those. But we do have some. Being on Dale Mabry, it's a little bit harder for students to get here, especially that's a good traffic issue right now to talk about, especially coming over from West Tampa and crossing over. So it's not the friendliest location as far as bikes, but I was also thinking, Julie, I will share this with my team. I know our Student Government Association did, I want to say it's in October, had a big event related to road safety. And it was also, and it included bikes, it included all forms of road safety. So maybe there's an opportunity for you to come and participate, or we could reach out to your group as well to do something along those lines.
Sure. Yeah, and we're planning on attending that event. So in November.
Oh, good.
And I know I did talk to someone and we talked about having a separate classroom to do, even pedestrian safety presentations that day. But we could also look at doing the bicycle safety in conjunction too. That's a good idea. We're, willing to help in any way. So whatever, your group wants us to do, we have, quite a few trained individuals who have their league cycling instructor training that can come out, and we can do some really fun classes that go a little more in depth into just a really, short overview. We could look at route planning for them, because getting to your campus, the route is 100% different. And, it makes a difference if they plan that route and don't ride on Dale Mabry, for example. Maybe they take the back roads.
I think route planning would be really beneficial for our students. Yeah. We'd appreciate that.
Sure. Yeah. Just let Brenton and I know, and we can line up some LCIs, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to do those. I mean, I really am seeing with the other universities that I'm talking to, they're doing all types of, this type of bike safety education in person with their league cycling instructors on campus, because they're just seeing that students are riding their bikes more, especially with gas prices and everything that's going on. They're just seeing an increase in bike ridership, or students who want to ride bikes and just need a little help. So
Yeah, I agree. That would be beneficial.
Awesome. Other thoughts, comments?
I'll add in, this is Janine from MAD. Hello, I'm sorry I missed the last meeting. I made a big boo-boo. I color coordinate my calendar and I didn't change the color. So I was like, oh, virtual meeting. I went on and went, oh no, this one was in person. So I missed it and I was really bummed because I wanted to come out there and see people in person. So I'm being very careful to color coordinate better on my calendar now between my virtuals and my in-persons. So I know that there are some events, you'd mentioned one at HCC coming up, and I just did want to ask, again, if there's any health/safety events going on at any of the schools. MAD would love to be there as well, giving out impaired driving prevention information and education. So I know you had talked about something at HCC, but I think I may have missed when that was, or maybe when I missed the last meeting. So what was that coming up at HCC? Was it a health or safety fair?
There was two things talked about today. Okay. August 15th is the start of class.
Yes.
So that week we have a lot of activities here on campus. Most are all coordinated through SGA. The second is our road safety. And I think Julie was saying maybe that's in November. I knew it was October, November. But that one, I'm assuming you participated last year.
I did.
But yeah, if you haven't earned anything, it'd be the same people to connect with for that.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's tentatively they've already reached out to me and they haven't picked the exact date, but they wanted to move it to November because it was so hot last October.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you saying that, Mike. I just want to make sure I get it on the calendar. So
yeah, and they were talking about not bringing in some of the larger vehicles that I brought last year, like the rollover car and all that stuff.
That was an excellent event, though. We were really, I know it was the first year doing specifically that, and that was a good one. So I want to make sure I don't miss it. And now's the time I'm booking my calendar for the fall. All of a sudden it's like nothing, and then all of a sudden everything's on there. So I want to make sure I get that in there and block it for that one. And then same thing with any of the universities. I know I do a safety fair at USF every year. I just haven't gotten a date for that one yet, I don't think, but I usually do that in October. And I didn't know if Tampa has one, something like that too. Just want to make sure that you guys know that we'll do tablings for things like that and love being part of that as well. So otherwise, we are just busy doing our outreach and education, and we spend a lot of time in high schools too. So colleges and high schools doing education, especially for underage drinking prevention and impaired driving prevention. So, and also, I don't know if Mike had mentioned this at the last meeting, but I just want to thank FDOT for helping us out. We've been coordinating with Tampa Police Department, doing some videos of for impaired driving prevention. So hopefully we'll have these. They're for education out in schools, but they're things that we can maybe use in other places as well. So we'll be getting those out in the next, hopefully, couple of weeks. They're going to be finished, and we can share them with you guys as well. There'll be some good stories that we have from people who are victims from impaired driving, from the offender standpoint, from the victim standpoint, for people who've worked in law enforcement and been victims themselves. So I want to thank Mike for helping to coordinate that. He was really helpful, set us up with a great team. Oh, he left. He set us up with a really good team to produce those videos. So hopefully I'll have him too. Yeah, he's back.
Yep.
Are you back, Mike?
Yes,
I was spending all this time thanking you, and you left.
Oh, well, that's all right. I don't know what happened.
I was thanking you for the videos.
Oh, no, my fat finger hit the wrong button.
So, thank you.
Awesome.
Just to go further on that, we just finished shooting another PSA, and it's on the Delta 8 product. So when that gets all put together and finalized, we'll be happy to share that with your younger crowd, since that's becoming a serious issue all of a sudden.
Yeah. Our assistant vice president of wellness at the University of Tampa is very aware and adamant about education around Delta 8. We also have a smoke shop right across the street from campus, which is super exciting. So yeah, that is quite on our list. So whatever you send, I will happily forward on to her, and she can push it out in the spaces that she operates.
If you'd
Very-
like, you can,
Thank you.
if you want, ever get in touch with me, and maybe she might be interested in coming to some of our other coalitions that we have, like Tampa Alcohol Coalition, which they've gotten real active statewide. They're trying to get legislation about Delta 8 right now. You know, so I mean, there is some other things going on around town if she wants to get a little more informed and become part of our help to get some of this under control.
And I think there is some involvement in various spaces. She and the wellness team are pretty hooked into the community, but if they're not involved in that one, I will definitely reach out and let you know.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Other programs, activities going on in your spaces?
Hey, Katie, this isn't a program or activity, but there was an article recently in the Tampa Bay Times that there is a golf cart rental available for downtown now that extends throughout quite a large area. So that might be something that might be some education needed.
Yeah. I missed that. And anybody can just rent a golf cart?
I believe
that-
you'd have to have a license because it says it's
You want to put that in the chat, Brenton, the
Yes.
link? Because yeah,
Yeah.
that just came out. That was really interesting on what Tampa Downtown Partnership, Karen Kress, I think they were leading the effort, right, Brenton?
I think so.
Interesting. I wonder what the decision was to do that.
I'm a little concerned. I mean, I don't remember them getting a, or it may have come through, but I didn't see it. For them to have approval to do it on state roads.
I don't think it would be on state roads because it would be limited to the 25-mile-an-hour roads. 35-mile-an-hour less, it says here.
I'll certainly check that out. Thanks, Brenton.
Interesting.
I mean, because our state roads are downtown are not, they're not over 25 miles an hour anyway. You got Florida Avenue, Nebraska Avenue, Kennedy Boulevard. You know, those are state roads down there. So just to name a few.
Yeah, it looks like you have to be at least 25 years old with a valid license to be a driver, which knocks out some of like the traditional age college students unless they have friends.
Maybe their mom and dad will come rent one to come visit.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past some of our family members. They are interesting. Sorry, just shipping that along to my people because I totally missed that today. Thanks for sharing that. That's, yeah, something to keep an eye on.
Mike, maybe we can table that for the discussion for the Hillsborough CTST and get some feedback from Tampa PD on that, because I'm sure Sergeant is working on that firsthand.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to run this up to flagpole, make sure that it's kosher with our state roads. Because I don't know how they can get around downtown without getting on a state road somewhere.
I didn't know that that was a limiting factor. It's good to know.
Yeah, golf carts are not technically legal. They have to have a special ordinances passed in these cities. You know, for instance, I think Sun City has got special ordinances to ride around in their area. Newport Richey, the whole city passed an ordinance where they can do golf. It's a golf cart friendly community, but they got to go through all kinds of special inspections, have special equipment on there and everything else in order to do that. But still, even like in Newport Richey, they're not allowed to drive up and down US 19 or in Sun City on 301 or 41 or any of those places. The state will not allow them to drive on the golf carts on a state road.
I think that makes sense. Cool. Good to know. Other interesting things that people have stumbled across that should be shared with the broader group.
That's why we have these groups.
Yeah.
It makes it easier when we're all trying to solve problems, you know, across the lines, you know. Your problems in the University of Tampa are not contained in the University of Tampa. It's just because they go outside the city, outside in the area, downtown, and, you know, down through Hyde Park and even Davis Island, probably, who knows, but so it's good to have these kind of meetings. And you know, the city of Tampa, she's on here, and they come to the Hillsborough CTST. So, you know, we share these issues to try to get down to, you know, who's to say, you know, your driver that lives on the UT campus or USF campus doesn't go into Tampa or Temple Terrace and not know something. So that's how we try to keep it all on the same playing field, so everybody's aware of everything.
I just posted another one from City of Tampa about their four-way stop sign improvement, because it said they've added like 81 four-way stops since the end of 2021. So just something maybe to be aware of with the students, that there's this, I don't know if the City of Tampa person's still on, but it's a big four-way stop initiative in the City of Tampa.
Yes.
And if your students were gone for the summer and they come back and it wasn't a four-way street, they might want to pay attention, because it is now.
I know, that sounds like a lot of four-way stops.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot of people running stop signs that they don't know exist yet until we adjust to that.
Yes.
Sorry, there. Yeah, thank you for sharing. These are really important things to pass along. And I mean, I think we benefit the most from other people watching out, simply because we are so close to downtown. So thank you all for shipping this around. Other things, other thoughts, feedback you want, questions you have? All right. Hearing none, does that mean we're wrapping up for the day? Any last lingering thoughts?
No, thank you very much, Katie.
All righty. Thanks for making my first vice chair meeting a breeze. You all are fantastic. We will reconvene virtually on the 7th of September. Hopefully Kathleen is back. If you have anything kind of beforehand, please don't be afraid to ship it around. I hope everybody's back to school, students returning, chaos and congestion ensuing process goes smoothly, and you don't pull all your hair out like we're trying to do here. And have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great
Thank you.
job.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a good afternoon.
You too.